TIFU, by flowering while showering into my 20s, by user the Bajart. This happened many years ago, when I was but a young man in college. But the story actually starts about 18 years before that, when I was a baby. Like most kids, I hated getting soap in my eyes in the bath. Even the gentle baby shampoo would send me into a rage. My dad, being the intrepid problem-solving sort with a penchant for over-engineering, came up with a sort of 360-degree visor that my hair would stick through. Then, they could wash my hair and the soapy water would just roll off. It was great. It kind of looked like a flower on my head, so my parents would say I was flowering while showering. Eventually, the OG visor got mildew and was disposed of, but my dad made a few over the years. He ultimately stopped when he decided that I should be able to wash my hair without getting soap in my eyes, but I wasn't having it and started making my own. Over time, flower hats for this exact purpose became mass-produced and I switched over to just buying them as needed. Never got soap in my eyes. It was great. Well, by the time I was 20 and living in my own apartment in college, I still hadn't kicked the OL flower hat. I was flowering while showering every day, living my best life. Cue a cute girl staying at my place and suggesting we take a shower together before fucking. She asked me to wash her hair and brush conditioner through it, which apparently felt really good to her and was a major turn on. When I was done, she offered to wash my hair. I didn't think that would do anything for me, but I said sure. I then reached out of the shower for the drawer where I kept my flower hat and put it on. At first she laughed and thought I was joking, even after I explained what it was. But then I think she noticed how it looked kind of old and used and faded, and that it would be strangely elaborate to keep a flower hat in my bathroom for the occasional joke. To her credit, she washed my hair while I wore it. We didn't end up having sex that night. I can't remember her explanation, but after she left the next morning she didn't return my calls or AIM messages. I didn't stop flowering while showering immediately after that. I would just say, "Oh, I washed my hair already" if the situation came up again. But when I met my now wife, I knew it was time to give it up. So I no longer flower while I shower, I just live with the occasional pain of getting soap in my eyes. But you better believe that when we had kids, I immediately got them flower hats. My wife thinks they're brilliant. She has no idea of my dark past. And every once in a while I look at my kids' flower hats, and I hear them calling to me, beckoning me to don them. I haven't succumbed yet, but I think it's only a matter of time. TLDR, flowered while I showered, got a good hair wash but nothing else. Edit, a general idea of what my flower hat looked like in college. TIFU by teaching my 3rd grade students about succubus plants, by user support -5645. Yesterday we were discussing plants and at the end of the lesson, several students seemed pretty excited to share their knowledge. One student mentioned the carnivorous plant, another wanted to talk about the wolfsbane plant and how it was used back in the day, and another student wanted to talk about a plant that she couldn't remember the name of, and that her mom has them all over the house. Before I continue, I need to say that I'm bilingual and that English is my second language, and sometimes I struggle to find the right word to things. On top of that, I'm pregnant and dealing with brain fog, which makes things worse. I asked the student to describe the plant, and she said that they are small and don't need to be watered that often. I knew right away what plant she must have been talking about, but I needed a few seconds to find the name in my head. The name came to my mind, or so I thought, and with confidence I said, "I think you're talking about the succubus plant." She hesitated for a second and said, "I guess so," and I proceeded to tell the class a few facts about it, and a while later we moved on to something else. It wasn't until the end of the day, after the students were dismissed, that I began to think about the good moments that we had in the day, and our conversation about plants came to mind. That's when it clicked that what I meant to say was succulent and not succubus. Succubus is a sex demon, and I've been so afraid that they went home and told their parents about this succubus plant that we learned about in class. I told the principal about it in case we get any angry parents and apologized in advance. I'm so embarrassed and cannot stop feeling bad about this. I'm hoping that they do not remember the word. TLDR. I accidentally taught my 3rd grade students about the succubus plant, but meant to say succulent. TIFU by letting a hookup see my fucking hoarder's den of an apartment, by user just a simpleb1tch. So my ex and I broke up about 5 months ago. Unfortunately, we both live in a 1-bedroom with both our names on it, and he still wants to get back with me. And I can't afford to move out. Anyway, fast forward to today, where I'm on a dating app to get over a guy I was briefly seeing after my ex. I speak to a cute gentleman who supposedly says he's 28M, but I suspect he's much younger. Probably younger than I, 24F. He wants to come over and hook up. I immediately said no because I knew what my apartment looked like. It looks disgusting. A hoarder's den of trash and shit everywhere. Dirty clothes on the ground, carpets and rugs not vacuumed in months. I can't keep up with cleaning as I've been working non-stop to save up and get the fuck out. I knew it was disgusting, so I said no. Hookup goes on and on about how it's not that bad and to just let him come by for a quick romp. Man, you're so sexy, blah blah blah. Long story short, I said sure, just let me clean and shower so I can at least have some form of dignity. He said he would take 45 minutes to get to me. Guys, I was barely finished with the kitchen in that time, and even then it still looks disgusting. This place needs a week straight of deep cleaning. And this poor asshole walks in expecting apparently something entirely different. Poor bastard. Anyway, brave soul he is, comes in anyway, willing to bust a nut. I take a quick shower because I'm disgusting, depression from living in this dump and working constantly. So he walks in and goes, it's not that bad. After busting a nut, I made a huge and terrible mistake. He gets sweaty and nervous, he starts acting weird, he's embarrassed, I'm embarrassed. He tells me he was wrong and this place is much worse than he realized and leaves. As I find my phone, I go to text him an apology, I find he unmatched me and blocked me. I am so fucking embarrassed and even more depressed than I was before. LMAO. TLDR, I fucked up by letting a hookup see my and my ex's disgusting trash dump of an apartment. He gets post-nut clarity, leaves immediately and blocks me. Which is honestly fair. EDA, I see a lot of comments asking the same thing and I did answer, but I'll clarify one thing. X makes mess when I was with him, I cleaned mess as best I could while being full-time provider. X and I broke up, X is still part-time and still makes mess. I am still full-time but I stopped taking care of X. My apartment has become hoarder's den. I still admit fault for being unable to keep with it now that it's starting to affect my mental health. TIFU because I told the veterinarian I was feeding my pup breast milk, by user HoneyKittyGold. So my pup is dying, but don't be sad as he's very old and has lived a great long happy life. We use a hospice vet who is awesome. He does quality of life stuff at first, then eventually euthanizes in home. Generally he's supportive through the last month or two of life. It costs a lot but it's really the best. So my dog's appointment is Tuesday. Again, sad, but he's just so old and tired. And he's not eating a lot. The vet told me since it's the end of his life, food is free for all, no rules, whatever calories will sustain the dog through the weekend. So I wanted to ask the vet if he had any ideas for feeding, anything really high flavor, as dogs tend to have no appetite towards the end of life. I chose to tell him things I've already tried. I said that I tried cooked meat, a different dog food, puppy milk and human milk. I meant milk that humans drink. Cow milk. Not human milk. When he texted me back and I realized my mistake, I wanted to die of embarrassment. TLDR, I told the vet that I fed my dying dog breast milk. I said human milk meaning not puppy milk meaning milk that humans drink meaning cow's milk. TIFU by adding an engagement ring I was considering to the wrong wish list on Amazon, by user Dadiot_007. She probably got an email or notification that I added it to the list. I've gotten them when she's added things. Whoops. God damn it. Phew. I don't know what else to type. My post has to be at least 750 characters. My hands are shaking, I don't want to keep typing. I need to go walk around the block or something, I work from home, she's at work. We've talked about it. I tell her often I can't wait to marry her and spend the rest of my life with her. The feelings are very mutual. But this wasn't how I wanted her to find out I was doing it soon. Odds aren't horrible against her seeing this post, either. TLDR, accidentally added an engagement ring I considered to an Amazon wish list I share with the woman I am going to propose to very soon. Edit, to hell with exactly 750 characters, if you see this, honey, I love you. You probably already know when and where I'm going to do it, too, but that's okay. I can't wait to ask you and I look forward to spending the rest of my life with you. Also, that's not the one I'm buying, FYI, I found something much nicer not from Amazon. Not that you're concerned about that kind of thing because you're amazing, did I mention that I love you?